প্র্যাকটিস মেক্স আ ম্যান পারফেক্ট। এই কথাটি বারবারই আমি বলি তোমাদের, যে যত বেশি অনুশীলন করবে ততই বেশি কিন্তু তুমি পরিপূর্ণ হবে, ততই বেশি শিখতে পারবে। আমরা আগের ভিডিওতে ক্লাস 11 এর প্রথম যে চ্যাপ্টার অ্যান অ্যাস্ট্রোলজার্স ডে, এখানে আমরা 50টি এমসিকিউ প্র্যাকটিস করেছিলাম প্রথম পার্টে। আমরা দ্বিতীয় ভিডিওতে এই কোশ্চেন ব্যাংক থেকে আরো অনেক বেশি এমসিকিউ প্র্যাকটিস করব, মোটামুটি 151টি। তো সম্পূর্ণ ভিডিওটা দেখো, ভালো লাগবে এবং অনেক কিছু শিখতেও পারবে। এখানে প্রশ্নটি পড়ার পরে আমরা সব এমসিকিউ গুলি পড়ব না, মানে আমি সব এমসিকিউ গুলি পড়ব না, কারণ অনেক বড় হয়ে যাবে ভিডিওটি। তাই শুধুমাত্র যেটি আনসার হবে, যেটি উত্তর, সেটিতেই টিক দিয়ে দেব। তোমরা কিন্তু টিক দেওয়ার আগে ভিডিওটাকে পজ করে গেস করে নেবে যে তুমি কি অনুমান করছো, তাহলে কিন্তু অনেক ভালো হবে। তারপরে দেখবে যে হ্যাঁ ওটা হচ্ছে কিনা, তাহলে দেখবা অনেক ভালো লাগবে ভিডিওটা। তো এভাবেই কিন্তু আমরা প্র্যাকটিস করব, বা তোমরা প্র্যাকটিস করতে পারো। এবং সব থেকে বড় কথা হচ্ছে যে এগুলি যদি তোমরা খাতাতে লিখে নিতে পারো তাহলে কিন্তু অনেক ভালো হয়। খাতাতে থেকে যাবে কোশ্চেন ব্যাংকের, প্রাইমার্টেন কোশ্চেন ব্যাংক থেকে এগুলি করানো হচ্ছে, অনেক উপকারে আসবে। তাহলে চলো শুরু করা যাক। দেখো 51 নম্বরের, The place that was mentioned as remarkable in many ways was the place. গেস করো তো কোনটি হবে, তোমরা ভিডিওটাকে পজ করে গেস করো কোনটি হবে, তারপরে দেখো যে সঠিক হচ্ছে কিনা। গেস করলে ঠিক বলেছো, তোমরা ঠিকই ভেবেছো, এটা হবে বি, where the astrologer used to sit for his business. তারপরে the road beside which the astrologer used to sit was narrow and crowded. Next, what constituted the variety of trades and occupations represented in the marketplace? এটা কি আছে দেখো, magicians and auctioneer of cheap clothes, medicine sellers and a groundnut seller, sellers of stolen hardware and junk, and the astrologer, all of these. তাহলে কারেক্ট আনসার কোনটি অনুমান করো তো দেখি। ঠিক, all of these। তারপরে which occupation is not mentioned in the text? Farming, teaching, journalism, both B and C. তাহলে কোনটা ছিল না? অবশ্যই জার্নালিজম ছিল না। তারপরটা দেখো, the auctioneer used to auction groundnuts, magical balls, furniture, cheap clothes. এটা হবে cheap clothes. Who used to create enough din all day? এটা হবে an auctioneer of the cheap cloth. তারপরটা, in this text vociferousness means a noisy outcry. তারপরে, who was next to the auctioneer of cheap cloth in vociferousness? এটা হবে the fried groundnut seller. তারপরটা, the groundnut seller used to call his groundnuts Dolly almond, Bombay ice cream, Raja's delicacy. এই তিনটেই হবে, তার মানে all of these. তারপরটা দেখো, to whom did people flock in the marketplace? এটা হবে groundnut seller. তারপরটা, the astrologer transacted his business by the light of the groundnut seller's flare. The place where the various sellers used to sit was lit up by the electric bulbs, moonlight, soft lights or sunlight. তাহলে এটা হবে soft lights. তারপরে, the main reason for the enchantment of the place was it did not have the advantage of municipal lighting. Lighting. দেখো, which of the following points is true about the place where the astrologer transacted his business? It was a place where a variety of businesses were transacted. There was no facility of municipal lights. A surging crowd moved up and down all day along the path. And there is all of this. তাহলে এটা কি হবে? এটাই হবে all of this, কারণ উপরোক্ত যেগুলি বলা হয়েছে সেগুলি সবই সত্য। তারপরে what kinds of lights are seen in the marketplace? Hissing gas lights, naked flares stuck on poles, old cycle lamps, all of these. তাহলে বুঝতে পারছো সঠিক आंसर হচ্ছে all of these. পরেরটা দেখো, the place where the astrologer transacted his business has been described by Narayan as the place of bewildering crisscross of light rays and moving shadows. In the text, bewildering means confusing, which suited the astrologer's business very well. A bewildering crisscross of light rays and shadows. তারপরে the bewildering crisscross of light rays and moving shadows suited the astrologer's business very well because he knew nothing of astrology and wanted to conceal his inability. তারপর the protagonist of the story did not intend to be an astrologer. The astrologer did not know what was going to happen to himself, what was going to happen to others, both A and B. None of these. তাহলে এটা both A and B, এটা উত্তর। তারপরে according to the author, the astrologer was stranger to the stars like his innocent customers. তারপরে the word should means simple, innocent, cunning, clever. The astrologer said things to people which pleased everyone. তারপর the astrologer used to say things which could please everyone because for him it was a matter of study, practice and shrewd guesswork. The astrologer had left his native village without taking any money, any proper plan, taking his bag, completing his studies. Any proper plan. Sorry, আগেরটা বাদ চলে গেছে, ওটাও বলে দিই। The astrologer deserved the wages he used to carry home every day because his work was no less than the labor of an honest man. What was the ancestral profession of the astrologer's forefathers? Farming. If the astrologer had stayed in his village, he would not have carried on foretelling others' future. What kinds of works are associated with the astrologer's forefathers? Tilling the land, living, marrying and ripening the cornfield, teaching in schools, both A and B. এটা হবে both A and B. The astrologer left home without telling anyone. To a villager, to leave his own village behind a couple of 100 miles is a great deal, as if an ocean flowed between. At present, the astrologer lives a couple of 100 miles away from his native village. The astrologer had a working analysis of mankind's travels. What are the tangles of human ties? Marry, peace, money, both A and C. এটা হবে both A and C. Long practice had sharpened the astrologer's perception. How much time did the astrologer take to understand what was wrong with his clients? 5 minutes. Per question, the astrologer charged 3 pies. 4 pies equals to 1 anna. The astrologer allowed his customers to speak for 10 minutes. The astrologer never opened his mouth till the client had spoken for at least 10 minutes. Why did the astrologer wait for his clients to speak for at least 10 minutes before saying something? This is how he was provided with enough stuff for a dozen answers and advices. এটা হবে উত্তর। তারপরে, in which manner did the astrologer open his conversation with his clients? Gazing at the palm of the client. Most of the clients agreed to which statements of the astrologer? In many ways, you are not getting the fullest results for your efforts. How many people were disposed to agree with the astrologer when he said, in many ways, you are not getting the fullest results for your efforts? 9 out of 10 people. According to the astrologer, the basic reasons behind one's travels is one's nature. Which planet did the astrologer held responsible for human beings' travels? Saturn. The astrologer got close to the hearts of his clients immediately by saying they had a rough exterior. What do even the mildest of human beings love to hear? They have a forbidding exterior. What signal prompts the astrologer to pack up his belongings? The groundnut seller blowing out his flare. When the nuts vendor blew out his flare, the only light that remained at the astrologer's shop was a little green light. What is the color of light that remains after the nuts vendor leaves the place? Green. The green shaft of light touched the ground before the astrologer. When a shaft of green light blotted out the astrologer picked up his paraphernalia and put them back into his bag. Who came to the astrologer when he was about to wind up his work for the day? A possible client. The astrologer's encounter with the man occurred in the evening. You look so careworn. The speaker here is the astrologer. Here, careworn means worried. How did the astrologer react when he saw the man standing before him? He offered the man to sit for a while and chat with him. When the astrologer asked the stranger to sit and chat with him, the stranger grumbled some vague reply. What did the man thrust towards the astrologer? His palm. The astrologer thrust his palm under the astrologer's nose. You call yourself an astrologer? Here the speaker is Guru Nayak. When the stranger said to the astrologer, you call yourself an astrologer, the astrologer felt challenged. When the astrologer felt challenged, he tilted the stranger's palm and began his usual predictions. Tell me something worthwhile. Who is the speaker? Guru Nayak. What was the customer reassured of getting from the astrologer? None of these. How much did the man fling out at the astrologer? 1 anna. At first, how much did the man ask the astrologer to return if he could prove him fake? 1 anna with interest. How much did the astrologer demand from the man if his answer could satisfy him? 5 rupees. At last, the man agreed to give the astrologer 8 annas. At the end, how much did the man ask the astrologer to return if his answer were proved wrong? 16 annas. What did the astrologer do when the pact between him and the stranger was settled after some arguments? He sent up a prayer to heaven. After the pact was settled, the stranger lit up a cheroot. The astrologer could see the face of the stranger by the matchlight. The astrologer became uncomfortable after seeing the man's face. The astrologer wanted to go away without answering the stranger's question because he had recognized the stranger. When the astrologer was talking to the stranger, the drivers of which vehicles could be heard swearing, "Jutka." What happened during the pause after the pact between the astrologer and the stranger was settled? Jutka drivers swore at their horses. The babble of the crowd agitated the semi-darkness of the park. Cars hooted on the road. All of these. Right answer is all of these. When the astrologer saw the stranger's face, he refused to accept the challenge of the stranger. What excuse did the astrologer give to the stranger for not taking up his challenge? He did not know astrology. He was not used to such challenges. He was getting late that day. Both B and C. Right answer is both B and C. When the astrologer started packing up his equipment without taking up the challenge, the stranger held his wrist and forced him to answer his question. What happened when the stranger held the astrologer's wrist and forced him to answer his question? The astrologer shivered in his grip. The astrologer's voice shook and became faint. Both A and B. None of these. Right answer is both A and B. When the stranger forced the astrologer to answer his specific question, the astrologer's throat dried up. "Leave me today." The speaker was the stranger. Sorry, the astrologer. "Challenge is challenge." The speaker is the stranger. When the astrologer refused to take up the stranger's challenge, he thrust his palm in the astrologer's face. What did the stranger want to know from the astrologer? Should he be successful in his present search or not? How much did the astrologer ultimately demand to open his mouth? 1 rupee. Many years ago, the stranger was stabbed and left for dead. The stranger was stabbed with a knife. The stranger was stabbed and pushed in front of a bus, pushed into a well nearby in the field. এটাই সঠিক উত্তর। The stranger was stabbed in his chest. Who saved the stranger? Some passerby. The man bared his chest to show the scar. To whom did the man bare his chest? The Astrologer. When did Guru Nanak bore his chest to show the scar? When the astrologer asked if a knife had passed through Guru Nanak once. According to the astrologer, where would the stranger meet his assailant? In the next world. According to the astrologer, the man who tried to kill the stranger died 4 months ago in a far-off town. How did the stranger react upon hearing about his mother's death? He groaned. What was the real name of the man who came to the astrologer? Guru Nanak. Sorry, Guru Nanak. It's wrong. Nanak Nai. Guru Nanak. The astrologer claimed that he knew everything about Guru Nanak. When the astrologer uttered the name of the stranger was surprised to hear that. Why did Guru Nanak shake his head regretfully after knowing about his assailant's death? Because his murder had escaped his hands. What did the astrologer advise Guru Nanak to do? To take the next train to home and never travel southward again. Why did the astrologer ask Guru Nanak not to travel southward again? Because he saw another great danger to Guru Nanak's life if he did so. What did the astrologer give to Guru Nanak along with advice? A pinch of sacred ash. The astrologer asked Guru Nanak to rub the sacred ash on his forehead. Where was Guru Nanak's village located? 2 days' journey due north of the town. How did Guru Nanak react to the astrologer's advice of never going southward again? He agreed with the astrologer. According to the astrologer, the man who tried to kill Guru Nanak died in an accident. How did the man who tried to kill Guru Nanak die? He was crushed under a lorry. How did Guru Nanak react on hearing about his enemy's painful death? He was satisfied to hear it. When did the astrologer pick up his equipment? The place was crowded, deserted, darkened, both B and C. What did the astrologer imply about Guru Nanak's future longevity? According to the astrologer, Guru Nanak will live to be 100. When did the astrologer reach home? Nearly midnight. Who was waiting for the astrologer at home? His wife. What did the astrologer do with the handful of coins given by Guru Nanak? He gave them to his wife and asked her to count. Whom did the astrologer ask to count the coins? His wife. How much money did Guru Nanak give the astrologer? 12.5 annas. How did the astrologer's wife react on getting so much money? She was overjoyed. What did the astrologer's wife intend to do with the money earned by her husband? She wanted to buy jaggery and coconut to make some sweets for the child. What did the astrologer's wife intend to buy to make sweets? Jaggery and coconut. Here, jaggery means unrefined sugar made from palm tree sap. The astrologer had one daughter. Which textual line proves that the astrologer and his wife had only one daughter? I will prepare some nice stuff for her. C. 177. The astrologer's wife wanted to make sweets for her child. What did the astrologer accuse Guru Nanak of? Cheating. Why did the astrologer accuse Guru Nanak of cheating? Because Guru Nanak gave the astrologer 12 and a half annas even after promising 1 rupee. After dinner, the astrologer sat on the pile. Pile means a low bench. To whom did the astrologer confess his crime? His wife. What did the astrologer confess to his wife? He confessed that he had tried to kill someone. Why did the astrologer run away from home and settle elsewhere? To escape punishment for killing someone. Why did the astrologer's wife react on hearing that her husband had tried to kill someone? She was shocked. Next. What incident from the astrologer's past used to trouble him? That he was a youngster, he had killed someone. Many years ago, the astrologer had stabbed a man with a knife, pushed him into a well and left him to die. Before pushing Guru Nanak into the well, the astrologer drank and gambled with him, quarreled with him, stabbed him with a knife. All of these. What did the astrologer do after narrating the past incident to his wife? He went to sleep. What feeling did the astrologer express at the end of the story? A sense of relief. An astrologer's day comes to an end with the astrologer lying on the pile for rest. Guru Nanak could not recognize the astrologer because the astrologer was in disguise and there was darkness in the place. The astrologer could save himself from Guru Nanak with the help of his presence of mind. Which is the round character in the story An Astrologer's Day? The astrologer. What is the turning point of the story that leads to the astrologer's realization? He encounters a man from the past whom he had tried to kill. Indian words like jutka, jaggery, payal are used in the story to provide a vivid description of the plot. How does the astrologer make his living? By offering advice on various life matters to his clients. The title of the story An Astrologer's Day is appropriate because it revolves around a particular day in the life of the astrologer. The literary device that is used much in the story is irony. The time duration used in the story is midday to evening. What is the main theme of the story An Astrologer's Day? The role of karma in life. আজ আমরা প্রায় 150টি এমসিকিউ প্র্যাকটিস করলাম। এভাবে আরো অন্যান্য চ্যাপ্টারে প্র্যাকটিস করার জন্য তোমরা চ্যানেলটিকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে দিতে পারো যদি ভালো লাগে তো। পরিশেষে বলবো যে অবশ্যই কমেন্টে জানাবে যে তোমরা কোন ধরনের ভিডিও চাও, সেগুলি দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করব। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ ফর ওয়াচিং দ্য ভিডিও।